All right, beauties, we are on to our powder declutter. As you can see in my previous video, I decluttered the concealers, and this is what I have for powder. This will also include powder foundations. You see I don't have a whole lot. They're kind of along the same lines as concealer. I don't use them as often, and they're my least purchased, least used up products. But yeah, let's go ahead and declutter. Here's where we are starting. I do apologize about any sounds you hear or anything like that. We're actually prepping for Tropical Storm Debbie, so if you hear a ton of rain, I'm sorry. We're gonna work quickly. Anyways, here are all of my powders. I am somebody that does not use a ton of powder, and I'm pretty selective because I do have such dry skin. So I feel like it's gonna be a pretty easy declutter for me. First up is the Glowish by Huda Beauty. I believe they're actually discontinuing this line. This is the Luminous Pressed Powder in Light. I do like this. It does have a beautiful finish to it. It has a beautiful kind of luminous quality to it. It's not glimmery or shimmery or anything like that, but even for me, I feel like as I wear this and my natural oils kind of start peeking through, it becomes a little too much. And I thought about keeping it for more like winter time, but I think I'm gonna go ahead and declutter it, but it is a very, very pretty powder. I really do like it. Next up, this one is quite similar to that one. This is the Radiant Translucent Powder from JOUER. I do have an affiliated code with JOUER. If I could open this, that'd be great. It's the Brutally Honest Beauty for 15% off. This one, as you can see, is pretty much the same. I feel like this one's a little bit smoother and maybe a little bit more sheen. Again, it's really, really pretty, but because I typically opt for more loomy foundations, and I kind of set my complexion also with more loomy products, I prime with more loomy products, I don't feel like I need a loomy powder. So for that reason and that reason only, I'm going to declutter. Next up, both of these, I think I'm also going to declutter because they're pretty much the same thing. It is the NYX High Glass Powder. I do have medium and light, and it is pretty much the same premise. It is a very smooth powder with, as you can see, just a little bit of luminous quality to it, a little bit of like a gossamer effect, if you will. It's a slight sheen, but it's not too much. It's not glittery, it's not sparkly or anything like that. Again, for me, because I prep my skin in a certain way and use very specific foundations and stuff, I just don't feel like I need it. But if you are on the hunt for something and you do have dry skin, textured skin, mature skin, I really think that the 4 of these I just decluttered you would really love. And me decluttering things doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad product. I mean, these are beautiful, you guys. I just don't reach for them as often. Next up, my current favorite, this and this one. This is the Makeup Forever. This is an actual foundation, but I do use it as powder consistently. It is the HD Skin Matte Velvet. This is in 2Y20. And the way that they describe this is perfect. It is very, very velvet-like, very smooth on the skin. It offers great coverage and you can build it up and use it as an actual foundation as it's supposed to be, or you can also set the complexion with this. I think it's beautiful. It's very long wear. I get a beautiful kind of velvet soft matte finish to the skin. It's so, so pretty. Definitely keeping this. Next up, another one I know I can declutter is the Beauty Crop Pore Filter Pore Blurring Pressed Powder. This is in light too. And solely for the reason that I just don't use powders super, super often. I do want to be selective, but this is very finely mailed. It's also really, really pretty. It also has a tiny kiss of a like sheen to it, a little bit of a luminous quality to it, but it's not shiny or anything like that. It's not kind of as intense as maybe some of the other ones are, but I do have enough. I'm going to declutter. Next up, I'm keeping all 3 of these, and I will note that the Dominique Cosmetics is very similar to the e.l.f. So if you've wanted to try this, the e.l.f. are very comparable. But we have the e.l.f. Halo Glow Setting Powders. I do have the shade medium in the regular one, and then I also have the brand new launch for their light pink. This is so incredibly blurring and smoothing and just beautiful on the skin. It feels like nothingness. Like it feels like air, and it feels like silk on the skin. And this, even though it has a slight sheeny property to it, hopefully you can see that, when it's on the skin, it doesn't get any more than this. Whereas some of the other ones, because they start out kind of a little bit too glowy or a little bit more glowy, it becomes a little too much with the way that I prep my skin and the foundation choices that I make. But oh my gosh, it's beautiful. These are incredibly beautiful. I especially really love the new one for under my eyes. These are finely milled. They're beautiful. They look great on the skin. They don't look heavy, cakey, or chalky. Love them. And along that same line is the translucent setting powder. As you can see, I've used a ton of this from Dominique Cosmetics. This also is very finely milled. Incredibly smooth. Very velvet-like. Again, it just feels like air. It's so beautiful on the skin, you guys. This one does not have any this one does not offer any kind of luminous property to it, which is another reason why I really like it. But it's not drying, it's not heavy, it's not cakey or anything like that. This is so beautiful. So definitely holding on to all three of those. My table's becoming a mess. It's okay, it's fine, guys. Next up, one that I know I'm going to declutter is the Kosas. This is the Feathery Cloud Set Powder, and I just think that this is off. It does not smell very good, and y'all know what I say all the time. Y'all preach it all the time. I know makeup costs a lot of money, and I know that it sucks when we have to kind of, you know, toss things or throw them away, but if at any time, no matter what it is, skincare, makeup, whatever it is, if at any time the texture has changed, the consistency, the tone of something has changed, and most importantly, y'all, and most kind of noticeably, the scent. If the scent has changed, for the love of everything glitter, throw it away. But yeah, this is super smooth. This honestly reminds me a little bit of like the e.l.f. powders or the Dominique powder, because it is super smooth, very dry skin friendly. It looks really pretty on the skin. It doesn't kind of settle and look, you know, cakey or anything like that, but I do believe that it is expired or has gone bad. So that's definitely gonna go, you guys. Next up is the LYS, the Triple Fix Translucent Setting Powder. I just don't reach for this one that often. I kind of will tend to gravitate towards those a little bit more, but it is definitely smooth. It also has just a slight sheeny quality to it. So again, most of these are gonna be very dry skin friendly, but I have enough. We're gonna go ahead and declutter. Next up is the Laura Geller. I actually used to use this kind of solely many years ago. I'm a QVC ho, y'all. It's the Laura Geller Baked Balance and Glow. It is the Illuminating Foundation in medium. And I love that there are different tones in here, so it kind of also like gives a little bit of color correcting to it. Now this, I don't necessarily like it as foundation. As you can see, it's quite loomy. It's very loomy. But I like to set kind of the high planes of my complexion with this after I'm done with my makeup, and or use it as more of like a bronzer type of vibe. If you're familiar with Too Faced Sun Bunny, that's one of my all-time favorite bronzers. This for me is kind of very reminiscent of that. It's beautiful, so I am gonna hold on to that. Next up, also coming from a QVC junkie, these are the IT Cosmetics CC Celebration Powders, and then I also have one that is the CC one, and then I have the Illumination one. I love all of these equally, and I keep different shades. I have medium tan, I have medium, I have tan, and then I have medium again in this one. I use these pretty much solely in the summertime because they are bulletproof and I do not ever get sunburn with these. I will put on either my Dermatology or my Supergoop Glow Screen, something like that. I'll put on more of a like liquid or a lotion type SPF. I will let that sit for a good few minutes and then I'll go on top of this and buff this in, and y'all, the SPF is there, the protection is there, and these are super smooth, and you can see incredibly opaque. Like you can really build these up to full coverage. They don't budge, and there's again a slight skin-like quality here, a slight little bit of a sheen to these, but again, not glitter, not shimmer or anything like that. I love these. Let me just kind of double check shades. I feel like I'm probably gonna keep all of these just because I do use them pretty consistently. This one is the medium tan. That's actually the one I'll probably be taking on vacation, or the tan. And you can see I'm getting a little bit of hard pan on this one. Honestly, I think I'm gonna take this on vacation, and then after that, I'm probably gonna go ahead and toss it just because it is getting hard pan. But again, beautiful coverage. It looks beautiful on the skin, never looks heavy, thick, or cakey, so I'm gonna keep all of these. Next up is a little mini. I recently panned the full size of this. This is the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Powder in shade 2 Medium. And I do feel like it is aptly named. I feel like you get this beautiful airbrushed flawless complexion with this. And I use flawless loosely. Nobody has flawless skin. just period. But again, here, there's a slight luminescent quality to this. It looks so incredibly beautiful. This is another one that, man, it feels like silk, you guys. It is so incredibly beautiful on the skin. Do I feel like you need this? No. Do I feel like we need any of this? No. But if you did get the chance to get it, if you have been looking, I do think that it is well worth the money. So definitely holding on to that. And last, but certainly not least, is the Fenty Beauty. This is the Pro Filter Loose Setting Powder in the shade Butter. I just don't reach for it. I just don't use it. It is a good powder. I do think it's dry skin friendly. Let me count up what we're keeping. Let me count up what we're decluttering, and I will BRB. So we are keeping 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So keeping 10. We are decluttering 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, 7, and tossing 1, so 8. So we are keeping 10 and decluttering 8. That is, I met my goal. I'm trying to declutter by like half-ish, or at least have enough space in my room that everything fits, or in my drawers, that everything fits comfortably. How do you think I did? What are your favorite powders? And do you have dry skin, normal skin, combo skin? Comment down below, y'all. Let me know. I hope you'll stick around and join my beauty family. I would love to have you be here. Don't forget to thumbs up the video if you did like. Thank you to my beautiful channel members. I love you. Stay happy, healthy, and safe. And of course, be your own best beautiful. Bye, y'all.